We were so close. Danganronpa 3, The End of Hope's Peak Academy, a very divisive anime for Danganronpa fans. And today, I want to give you my thoughts on the Danganronpa 3 anime because I have a lot of thoughts on it that I've been wanting to share for quite a while now. So, let's jump into this. I don't want to waste any time. Here's the deal. I want to go through each individual arc and I want to tell you what I think of them because I think that both of these arcs have some really good qualities and some really bad qualities. But let's get into this, obviously starting with the Despair arc. So the Despair arc is, of course, the prequel to Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, where we mostly follow the 77th class, but we also get a little bit of Junko, and we get to see Junko's uprising as the ultimate despair. Now, starting off with the good of Danganronpa the Despair arc. 90% of this, I feel, is a rip-snorting good time. I really enjoyed the Despair arc. I really love all of the fun interactions between the 77th class. All of the fun, you get, this starts off with Shisa Yukizome, the ultimate housekeeper. She becomes the new teacher of the 77th class. And then she goes and she kind of rounds up all of the class. You get all of the Danganronpa 2 cast, and you get to get them in these really fun introductions. Like, they're all very, very fun. Like, you get, friggin' Nagito is at a soda machine and he puts 1 quarter in and it just shoots every soda out. You get a lot of really awesome moments, and then there's the whole thing with them in the classroom, and Fuyuhiko's talking shit. She she just stabs the knife on the table, and he's like, "Oh, you got the biggest pair in the room," and then she's looking at him like, "You want me to do some remedial subtraction?" It's a lot of fun. I really do like Shisa Yukizome as a character. I actually think she's a pretty solid character, and I liked her overall. And everything about the introduction of all the characters and in the 77th class and the way they just bounce off each other perfectly, it almost makes me not even hate some of the characters that I really hate from Danganronpa 2, like Hyoko Sayonji and Akane Iwari. Both of those characters I'm not a fan of, but both of them are kind of fun in this show because they bounce off of each other so perfectly. They have such good chemistry, all the characters of the 77th class, and it really is a ton of fun to watch. It's such a fun and just a really enjoyable time. But unfortunately, that doesn't last because about 3 episodes into this show, we take a seriously dark turn when we get to Junko and we start building up the whole despair, what's it called? The most despair-inducing tragedy in the history of mankind. Of course, that being Junko's mass genocide on the town in Hope's Peak Academy. And yeah, you get to see that come, and you get to see a lot of great Junko moments in here. Junko is at her best in the Despair arc, man. It is really, you get to watch her, torture people. You get to watch her, start making this whole plan, brainwashing the 77th class into becoming the remnants of despair. And then you get the whole thing with Chiaki, her first execution, and giving her the ideas for the death game for the Trigger Happy Havoc cast. It's really fun. And then there's also the massacre that gets touched upon in Trigger Happy Havoc. They go into that room and it's just covered in blood and there's scratches and shit all over the floor. And we actually get to see that go down in the Despair arc. We see the massacre of that class, and it is absolutely horrific. It is one of the most it is one of the most graphic things I've ever seen in any anime ever. They did not hold back in that scene, man. They did not hold back. You got that one guy who falls on a fucking chainsaw and cuts his own head off. You got the two guys that are they want to die together, and then they just get stabbed in the back with a spear, and the guy falls on the girl, and then the dude's just "You want together?" and he just takes a shovel and just starts slamming the spear into it so it goes through the guy into the girl. I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is fucked up. And then you get that one girl who didn't want to fight. The guy's like, "Don't worry, it'll be okay." And then he just stabs her in the fucking torso with a knife. And then you got people with Uzis and shit. That shit was seriously fucked. And I mean, it was really cool that you get to go see that. You get to see it all go down. You get Mukuro singing her little song in the background. Very, very cool scene. A little bit difficult to watch, but a very cool scene. It was really cool that we got to see that whole massacre go down in this. I thought that was a really fun thing to throw in there. Other good things. Oh, how about the whole thing with Nagito? We get a little mini glimpse of Nagito's plan from Goodbye Despair in this, where Nagito devises this plan for, I can't actually remember the entire context behind it, but it was the whole thing with Ruruka. He wanted to get a laxative, so he gets it from Psycho, the ultimate pharmacist, and he gets a laxative from her, and then Ruruka has this other drug that makes her food super tasty, and they get switched along the way. and Nagito ends up with Nagito had like a bomb or something, but their bags get switched along the way. Like, I don't know, it's like we get to see glimpses of it, and I really should have done research, because for some reason I can't remember the exact context behind that, but that whole thing was kind of fun, because it really does kind of give you a glimpse into what Nagito will do in the future, and his character, like the whole thing with him like creating these really absurd plans, but of course it kind of goes wrong in this one, although it does kind of work out in the end, except not really, because they both get expelled or suspended. I think Nagito gets suspended, Ruruka gets expelled, so yeah, I mean, it really is a ton of fun, and I do really like that whole thing. And Nagito is obviously always going to be a highlight. He is pretty great in this series as well, like just like all the 77th class. But I really did like Nagito in this as well. Yeah, I think that's just about. Well, you also get the thing with the Ultimate Imposter and Ryota Michirai, the Ultimate Animator, a fun character. I do like him. You get he later starts working with Junko, not really realizing that she is trying to kill everybody. So that was kind of cool. I think Ryota Michirai is a cool character, but some of the things that go down with him in the future arc, I'll touch upon those real quick. We'll get to that. But I do like him as a character overall. Yet everything with him, his whole anime thing, which is pretty cool. I do like that. He has some pretty funny lines as well, like my anime caused all of this. I don't know. It's just kind of fun. He's got a fun design. He's a likable character. I do like Ryota Michirai as well. And there's some pretty great interactions between him and Junko, you know. He's gonna burst a blood vessel because I dissed his waifus. Like, it is pretty damn lovable. I really do like it. But that is, there's also the whole thing with, of course, you get to see the transformation of Hajime into Izuru Kamakura. He goes into the Hopes Project, gives his body to become Izuru Kamakura, and then we kind of get him in little snippets throughout this, which is kind of cool. You know, Izuru Kamakura and Junko kind of team up to create the ultimate despair-inducing tragedy, because Izuru wants it to happen so that Hope can rise up and defeat it, which I don't know how I feel about that. Just more reasons why I don't really like Izuru Kamakura as a character, but it was a fun thing to throw in there. But getting into some things I don't love about the Despair arc is really the thing that a lot of people don't love about it, and that is the whole reveal that the reason that the Remnants of Despair that the 77th class become the Remnants of Despair is by brainwashing. Junko uses a brainwashing thing made by Ryota Michirai to convert them all into her fucking slaves, her army of the Remnants of Despairs. And it's not a horrible explanation, but I feel like there might have been better ways to go about it. Like, you get Mikon. Mikon is kind of just like falls in love with Junko, and then there's that whole thing, and she kind of becomes like Junko's like extra little assistant. But then you have Ryota Michirai makes that fucking like brainwashing thing, and that's what she uses to turn all of the other 77th class into the Remnants of Despair. And I don't know, I just feel like there was probably a better way to go about it. And then of course they make them watch Junko makes them watch Chiaki get executed, which that is the hardest scene of any anime I have ever seen ever. That was so difficult to watch, because she gets just absolutely tortured in that scene, and Chiaki is such a wonderful character that I love so dearly. And man, when I was playing Goodbye Despair, I wasn't even expecting Chiaki to die, because she was like the Kyoko of that game. I thought she was going to make it to the very end, and when she died, I was super shocked. And then you get to this, and you have to watch her die like 10 times more horribly, and it's just, I don't know, man. Part of me really likes it, but like part of me just finds that scene so difficult to watch, and I genuinely cried the first time I watched it. It's just so difficult to watch, man, because like they just do not hold back. It's like a full-on Saw scene right there. Like literally, Junko pops up on that damn TV and is like, "We're gonna play a little game." Although I don't think she says exactly that, but Junko really is like the Jigsaw of anime, and that's probably why I love her so much. But still, that whole scene with Chiaki is just so difficult to watch, and it is, of course, kind of serves as the precursor for her executions in the Trigger Happy Havoc, because you got the Reach for the Stars song playing in the background, which is pretty cool. I do like it overall. Oh wait, actually no. The Reach for the Stars song was playing when she was torturing that one dude by like scooping his eyeball out. But I think the standard that execution song was playing during the Chiaki execution. I could be wrong. It has been a while since I've watched this show, but yeah, I do really like the whole thing with the Remnants of Despair, like becoming that, but I do feel like the brainwashing thing maybe could have been a little bit better. But that's honestly like one of my only real complaints with the Despair arc as a whole. I feel like the Despair arc is just a really fun time, honestly. Like you get the first 3 episodes, which is just an absolute blast. You're basically just following the 77th class, just being like great friends with each other, and it's a ton of fun. And then you kind of go into, and then it kind of takes a twist, and you start getting all this sinister Despair stuff. You know, the whole thing with Junko becoming the ultimate Despair, and you also get the whole thing with what's his name, Munakata and Juzo and Chisa, who have kind of infiltrated Hope's Peak Academy. Fun characters. I don't love Juzo. Juzo is probably one of my least favorite characters. He's just, I don't know, man. He's just so hopped up all the time. It's like, I'm gonna beat everybody up. If you, Hajime, you can't be over here. I'll beat the shit out of you. Like, I don't love Juzo, and he doesn't change my mind in the future arc. But you get Munakata and Chisa, and they're both pretty good characters. So I don't know, maybe not Munakata. I don't know. Some of the newer characters in the Danganronpa 3 anime, I think, are a little weak. But yeah, that's just about everything I want to talk about with the Despair arc. Overall, I do enjoy the Despair arc a good bit. But now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and talk about the future arc, because this is where shit is going to get a little rocky here. So the Despair arc, for the most part, I was really enjoying. When I got to the future arc, however, man, alright, let's get into this. The future arc. For the first 9 episodes of the future arc, I was on cloud fucking 9. I adored this show. I thought this was so fucking good. You get this whole thing where, like, I enjoyed the Despair arc, so I popped in the future arc, and I was kind of like ready for it. Like, I had heard people say that they didn't really overall like the Danganronpa 3 anime all that much. So when I popped it in, and I was just absolutely loving it for the first 9 episodes, I was super happy. Like, yes, I'm so glad I liked this show. But then it gets to the ending, and we'll get to the ending. Don't worry, we'll get to the ending. But the whole first 9 episodes of the future arc, I think, are genuinely fucking phenomenal. Like, they're so good. You get this whole thing where the Future Foundation go into this building, and they have this whole meeting, and then it gets crashed by Monokuma, and you have a new killing game with all of these new rules. The whole thing with, like, the bracelet that has, like, the poison in it, and if you don't follow that, and if, like, for example, like, one of the rules, God, I have to remember one of them. One of them was like, don't open your left hand or something like that. If the guy would open his hand, the fucking bracelet would poison him and kill him. Like, it was really cool. There has to be one. Oh, that's right. Aoi Asahina, hers was like she couldn't run in halls. So it was really cool. It was a really cool thing about this game. And then, of course, the main thing about the game was it was kind of like the ultimate werewolf game where you, like, one person is the attacker and you have to figure out who the attacker is before they get everybody killed. Like, every 30 minutes or every 2 hours or something like that, everybody would fall asleep except the attacker, and then the attacker would kill somebody, and then they'd wake up and they'd have to find the attacker. It was a really cool set of rules. I really was enjoying this killing game, man. It was so cool. And then they added more stuff. They kind of brought in the Ultra Despair Girls story with Monica and Toko and Komura and Komura. No, is that her name? Komura? What's her name? The Makoto's sister. Was it Komaru Nayagi, I think. Yeah, I really like her. I really like Komaru Nayagi. I will come right out and say this. At this point in time, I have not finished Ultra Despair Girls. I've gotten about 4 hours through that game, and then I kind of abandoned it for a while there. I'll get back to it eventually. I certainly will. I will finish that game eventually, but I don't know. It just wasn't like hooking me like all the other Danganronpa games did. But I do really like Komaru as a character, and I like Toko. Obviously, Toko's one of my favorite characters of the whole franchise, and I love the thing with Toko in Ultra Despair Girls where she has like the taser, and she would like tase her head and it would turn her into Genocide Jack. That was so cool, man. She's like Rem from ReZero. Like, when she wants to fuck everything up, she just like does that, just starts eviscerating everything. So cool. I love that whole thing. And Komaru really was a cool character. I love her little despair gun that she had. Was it just, I don't know, she had some kind of gun. I just remember it was some kind of gun, but it was really cool. And yeah, there's some funny moments in that Ultra Despair Girls episode. Like, you got that one part where Komaru and freaking Toko are talking to each other, and Toko starts having like another fantasy about him and about her and Byakuya, and then it just cuts to Byakuya in the helicopter, and he's just like, I'm sorry, it just feels like there's a certain someone is having some disgusting fantasies about me. Like, it was really funny. There was some really great moments in that Ultra Despair Girls episode. So yeah, I like that one overall. Once again, the first 9 episodes of this were so good, dude. They were so good. And it caps off, the way that caps off was so perfect, man. And I kind of just choose to rewrite the ending in my head of this one because the last episode of the future arc, you get this amazing sequence where you have the whole confrontation with Ruruka, who is kind of turned on everybody, and she really just wants to get out of there alive. And defense of Ruruka real quick, because Ruruka's a character that everybody seems to hate, but I don't know, I feel like Ruruka's a pretty complex character that a lot of people just mindlessly hate and don't really give her a chance to actually like become yes, she kills her boyfriend with the whole poison candy and all that, and she gets Psycho, and she's like really mean to Psycho in the Despair arc, and I really love Psycho as a character. Psycho was probably my favorite character that was brought into the Danganronpa 3 anime. I just thought she was really cool, the ultimate pharmacist. I love her design. Her design was super cool, and there's the whole thing with her, like she's sick of Ruruka's shit, so she starts taking that medicine that like turns her into a fucking werewolf, and she just starts going after her relentlessly, and then her bracelet was that she couldn't get in light at all, so the whole thing with Ruruka like turning on all the lights to protect herself, it was super cool, man. I love these first 9 episodes. I cannot stress that enough. But then, of course, you get the final confrontation with them where, you know, Ruruka's been cornered and Kyoko does her Kyoko thing, her awesome, like, not like fucking absurdly good detective skills with Ruruka, totally gets her, like, dead to rights, and then the whole thing with Ruruka, like, I think, like, Ruruka, like, throws, Kyoko into the fucking pit, and then, of course, you get the thing with, man, what was that guy's name? Fedora guy, fucking Jin Kirigiri's friend, what was his name? I forgot, but that guy who can't open his hand because it would poison his bracelet was that he couldn't open his left hand, and he freaking grabbed Kyoko and threw her back up from the pit. That was so fucking awesome, dude. That was so awesome because he gave his life to save Kyoko, and man, I loved that. And then the ending of that episode, when they all wake up the next night and they find Kyoko dead right next to them, and then they realize that her bracelet was that she couldn't let Makoto live past the 3rd night. I was utterly I was blown away. I was absolutely blown away. I love Kyoko as much as the next guy, but I thought that death was so perfect. I mean, this is Danganronpa we're talking about. This franchise is all about killing your favorite characters, man. That's what this franchise does. But they do this with Kyoko, and I was 100% on board with it. I love Kyoko to death, but this was such a heroic way for her to go out. I thought it was absolutely perfect. I loved it, man. I was seriously on cloud 9 for the first 9 episodes of this show. I thought they were utterly phenomenal. But then we get to the final 4 episodes, the last 2 episodes of the future arc, and then we have the one that they put on the end of the despair arc. I don't know why they did that, by the way. That was really weird. But the hope side that's the final episode of the despair arc, that you have to like watch all the despair arc and then watch all the future arc and then put that hope side on afterwards. I don't know. That's just weird. But man, everything about the last 4 episodes suck. They suck, man. What more do you want me to say, man? It's just like the first 2, you kind of get Makoto against Munakata. This isn't bad. The whole thing against with Makoto against Munakata, that's not bad. But then you have the reveal that there was no attacker at all, and it was the TVs that they would like, if they passed out in front of a TV, the TV would have them kill themselves. And I just don't understand that at all. Like, why? I don't get that at all. I think it would have made much more sense if Munakata had been the killer, had been the attacker. But they go with this thing where the TVs would if you fell asleep close to one of the TVs, the TV would turn on and like hypnotize you and make you kill yourself. And there was no attacker at all. And that twist is just stupid. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's just stupid. You do have this pretty cool scene where Makoto does, you know, he figures this out by, you know, it actually happens to him. He falls asleep in front of one of the TVs, and you get this great scene where all of the ghosts of Trigger Happy Havoc, like all the people who died in Trigger Happy Havoc are like haunting him and like telling him to kill himself. Like, you got the whole thing with Sayaka and all that. It's pretty cool. And then Kyoko's there as well. It's pretty cool. And then he, like, I forget actually how he defies it. I think he snaps out of it or something like that. But it was a really, really, really cool scene. But like the whole twist, I just don't care for. And that's just one twist I hate about this last 4 episodes. Then you get the whole thing with Ryota Mitarai and the twist that the headmaster Tengen was the new mastermind of this new killing game. And the reason I don't even fully understand the final twist of this, where it's like Ryota Mitarai wouldn't use his brainwashing powers, so Tengen, his brainwashing, like the whole thing with Ryota, like creating the anime that would like brainwash you, and he wouldn't use it to like save the people, and so Tengen created this whole killing game to make him use it. Like, what? What? How does this make any sense whatsoever? I don't get it. I was at an utter loss for words. I was sitting here watching these last 4 episodes, and I'm like, wait, what? Am I supposed to understand the plan here? Because I don't understand at all what his plan was. This seems so stupid to me. Like, what on earth? Everything about it is just it's just so stupid to me. And then to cap it off, it doesn't stop, man, because you get that whole reveal, and then you get the fucking remnants of despair. Every single character from Goodbye Despair, with the exception of Chiaki, all come back, and it's like, why did I even play Goodbye Despair at this point? You just brought all the characters back. Like, what? What the actual fuck? Like, I don't understand at all what the thought process was there. I can't believe they actually thought this was a good idea, man. Like, maybe like you have 5 survivors from Danganronpa 2. I feel like 5 survivors would have been enough. Now, granted, yes, we get some great scenes with them. They come back and it's really awesome, you know, like for example, you have Mahiru there and she's like using her camera to stun the guards, and then fucking Ibuki comes in with a fucking flamethrower guitar and just blazes them up, and then you get fucking Nagito where he like kicks the one rock and it causes the fucking avalanche and kills all the guards. It's a really awesome scene, yes, and it's so great to see all those characters come back, and you get Fuyuhiko and Peko together finally. It's a great scene, but at that point, why even play Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair? All the characters that die in Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair, with the exception of Chiaki, all come back at the end of this show. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Like, I don't understand at all why they did that. And then, to cap it off, the final thing that I absolutely despise about this ending is they shoehorn a way to make Kyoko survive. Why? This is the end of the story. Just have Kyoko be actually dead. Have Kyoko be like the collateral for the happy ending for Makoto and Aoi Asahina and Yasuhiro and Toko and Byakuya. It makes perfect sense for Kyoko to be the kind of collateral, and it's so sad. Like, it will give Makoto like Makoto barely went through anything. He lost no one. All of the people that survived from Trigger Happy Havoc survived by the end of this, and killing Kyoko in episode 9 was absolutely perfect. I had no issue with it. I love Kyoko for the 50th time. I love Kyoko. But this was a perfect way to kill her character. It felt like it felt like the collateral for the happy ending of the other characters. But no, because we can't kill a fan favorite character apparently, even though we killed Junko and Nagito and Kokichi. We have to let Kyoko live? Like, I don't understand. And the way they do it makes no sense. You get this whole thing at the end of the show when Mikon has this fucking antidote, and she just brings it up at the very last second of the show, and she's like, this can help, like, slow down the effects of the poison. And even though Kyoko's been dead for like 3 days, apparently it still works. It still lets Kyoko come back. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it at all. What the fuck were they smoking when they came up with this ending? Every single plot at the end of this show fucking sucks. They make no sense whatsoever. I hate every single one of them. So, here's the deal, guys, with the Danganronpa 3 anime, the Despair arc, a lot of fun, really a lot of fun, mostly amazing in my opinion. I enjoy a ton of things about the Despair arc. The Future arc, first 9 episodes are so outstanding. Even the opening kicks ass, man. I love the first 9 episodes of the Future arc. I could watch them over and over again on repeat. I love them. But everything after the first 9 episodes, everything from when Kyoko dies and everything from when Kyoko dies to the end of the show, I'm just gonna say it, is garbage. Is absolute garbage. Every decision made is stupid and is pointless. Makes absolutely no sense to me. I hate everything about the final 4 episodes of the Danganronpa 3 anime, and it really sucks because we were on such a good track record, man. I was absolutely loving this show until those last episodes, and it just crushed it. So I can still really enjoy the Danganronpa 3 anime up until the ending, but I don't think I'll ever watch the ending of the Danganronpa 3 anime ever again. I choose to completely rewrite that ending in my head. My canon ending for the Danganronpa 3 anime, Kyoko stays dead, all the survivors of Goodbye Despair come back, they help them out. Maybe you could kind of figure out a way to work Nagito in there, I don't know. Nagito is just such an amazing character and everybody loves him so much that I feel like bringing Nagito back might have worked. And you could have said something like in Danganronpa 2, because there is Danganronpa 2.5, which is like the OVA, where you get to see Nagito like talking with Hajime and Izuru Kamakura, and it kind of helps him bring the others back, and it kind of lends to an explanation for that. But I feel like it still doesn't make so much sense in the grand scheme of things, and you could have totally worked in a way where it was just Nagito who came back, and I feel like it would have worked. Nagito is so smart and clever and unique that I feel like there was a way to work Nagito back, but not any of the other characters, because it completely ruins the entire point of Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair. So my ending, the way I choose to end this in my head, is that Kyoko stays dead, the whole thing with the TVs is not a thing, Tengen is not still alive, and the mastermind turns out to be Munakata, and Munakata is just kind of a douche overall. I don't know. You'd have to figure that one out yourself. It's just what I go with, because I just don't like Munakata as a character. So for me, he's the mastermind. He did everything, and it wasn't for Ryota Mitsurai to use his animation, to use his brainwashing anime to do something. It was just because he was a fucking dick or something. Like, I don't know. Surprise! I am with Junko, and I am another Despairer. I am another follower of Despair. It definitely would have been better than the shit we got. And yeah, and then the survivors of Danganronpa 2 come back. They help them take everything down, along with Nagito, because man, Nagito is just Nagito, and I already explained that. And then yeah, and Kyoko Kyoko is still dead by the end of it. Mikoto saves everybody, you know, becomes the new headmaster of Host Peak Academy. And I don't know, maybe it could have ended on Mikoto like looking at a big picture of Kyoko, just remembering, you know, the fallen hero. She gave her life so that he could survive and make a happy ending. It's perfect. It's fucking perfect. Whatever, dude. There you have it, everybody. That is my thoughts on the Danganronpa 3 anime. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you actually like the ending of Danganronpa 3? Tell me, honestly, like, if you do, please, God, tell me why, because I gotta know. If you like it, please tell me why. Tell me what was the point of Tengen's plan? How was Tengen's plan ever a good idea in the first place? Please, if you like this, tell me, defend it. If you don't like it, go, cool, let's vent about it in the comments. We could have conversations in the comments. I'll happily do that, but there you have it, everybody. That's all my thoughts. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned for more Danganronpa videos coming your way in the future. And this is DK Guillotine, signing out.